years. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. Our virtual parade and parade activities are nothing compared to what you see in person. So please join us next year downtown when, God willing, we'll be able to be back downtown on the streets of St. Louis doing what we do best, putting on the best parade in the Midwest. Of course, we're a little biased, we think, in the entire country, but maybe that's just us. Coming up next, we're going to have a live whiskey demonstration. It's going to be conducted by Dustin Pears of Luxco, and we welcome Dustin in. Dustin, hey, you are very festively dressed. We appreciate that today. How are we doing? Audio's dead here, I think. Dustin, I think your microphone might be muted there. We're going to check and see.
Oh, there you go. Does that help? Now can you hear me?
Are we okay? We're all right. Good. Dustin, sorry, I have to check with my tech team and see how we're doing things. Dustin, I'm going to let you take it away here and just share with us a little bit. I mean, you're already well dressed, so obviously you know what you're doing. We'll let you take it away and listen to what you have to say.
It's truly one of my favorite days of the year. You guys have always been a big part of our family's tradition, so I'm excited to be here and talk to you about another great family, the Kieran family in Ireland that actually creates and produces the Quiet Man whiskey. We have some really great stuff.
Appears to be a sunny.
Oh, and here's our master distiller, Kieran himself, and he's here to wish everyone in St. Louis a happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'll let Kieran do the talking first.
My name is Kieran Mogrew, and I'm the founder of the Quiet Man Irish Whiskey. I wish I was able to come across and be with everybody in St. Louis on St. Patrick's Day, but unfortunately with the COVID virus, we're still in lockdown here in Ireland. It would be nice to be there. In fact, to be honest, it would be nice to be anywhere. And hopefully someday that'll come round again. So Dustin from Luxco had asked me just to make a little video and tell you a little bit about the Quiet Man Irish Whiskey. And people always ask me two main questions. The first thing they say is, why did you call it the Quiet Man? And the answer to that is, well, my father, if you can see here, is on the back of every bottle. And my father was a bartender in Belfast for 34 years. And I grew up living above the bar at home. And my father used to always say to me, if you're going to work behind the bar, you're going to need to be part priest, part psychiatrist, and part social worker. He says you're going to hear the absolute best of everybody, but you're going to hear the worst about people as well. And no matter what, say nothing. Keep quiet about it. And that's why they called him the Quiet Man. Or as we say here in Irish, an fiarciúil. So the second thing that people ask me is, what should we drink the Quiet Man with? And I always say the same thing. The Quiet Man, like any whiskey or any bourbon, the thing isn't what you drink it with. The thing is who you drink it with. Drink it with your friends. Whatever you put into it, should it be ice, should it be water, soda, tonic, that's just a detail. Drink it with friends. That's the key thing. So have a good day. Have a good St. Patrick's. I'm here in my green shirt. And as they say, sláinte. That's cheers in Irish. And don't forget the Quiet Man, or as we say over here, an fiarciúil. Thank you very much. Bye.
Well, that was lovely. So that was Kieran, our master distiller out in Ireland. And, we are drinking some Quiet Man. It is a 3-year-old blend of Irish whiskey. And what he's always too modest to talk about, he talks about how his father owned a bar in Belfast and he grew up, they put you to work early back then. So starting as early as 8 and 10, he was actually working in the bars, watching his father work and do all that. But then as he became a proprietor of the business, he actually took a look around Ireland. And at the time, there were only 3 distilleries in operation in Ireland. And they were actually owned, every single one of them was owned by a overseas company. And so there were no Irish whiskey distilleries being operated by the Irish. And so that was something that he set forward to change. And he was one of the first people to establish a recent distillery license. And now he is one of 25 local distillers in Ireland. So there's actually been a very recent resurgence of distillation of Irish whiskey by the Irish people. And I'm really, really proud to be holding in my hand one of the first whiskeys that set that in motion. So, I have the pleasure of helping people enjoy spirits for a living. And I do have a short system that I like to go through whenever I'm meeting a new friend for the first time. Anytime I'm actually going to be enjoying the spirit and trying to get to know it, I like to always start right here at the top of my head. All right. I like to think about what I'm drinking. So we're drinking the Quiet Man, or as they say in Irish, An Ferchún. And so we know that Irish whiskey, there are a few laws and regulations about Irish whiskey. Number one is that all Irish whiskey must be produced in Ireland. That's pretty straightforward. What most people don't know is that all Irish whiskey must be distilled on a 100% copper still. All right, so copper is a very porous and absorbent metal. And there are a few things, the process of distillation produces a lot of things. There are over 32 different types of alcohol that become produced during distillation, and about 6 of those will kill you. And so that's what you call the heads and the tails of distillation. So those very first things that come out of a still whenever you turn it on in the morning, that first, 10%, those are alcohols that you can't really drink. And then that last 10%, those are alcohols that you can't really drink. So what we actually put in our bottles, you call that the heart, right? So you only take that middle portion of what comes out of the still. Now, out of the rest of that, there's some things called esters. That's what kind of gives you that not so great feeling whenever you wake up after a day of too many Irish whiskeys. And so we use copper stills because they will actually absorb the esters as the alcohols come through. So all Irish whiskey must be produced on 100% copper stills because that gives the alcohol a opportunity to shed some of those esters. They actually get absorbed by the copper as they go through the distillation process. So industry standards say that you take 10% off the top, 10% off the bottom. We actually at the Quiet Man will take 15% off the top and 15% off the bottom because, like I say, we really believe that this should be enjoyed with friends, and we believe that friends are a high-quality product. And so we want our whiskey to be a high-quality product that you feel comfortable sharing with your friends. So all Irish whiskey, also by law, must be aged for 3 years in oak barrels. We actually use old bourbon barrels to age our Irish whiskey. So what's in your glass right now is a blend of Irish whiskeys that was produced on both column stills and pot distills, aged for a minimum of 3 years, and then blended together. And I'll talk more about stills here in the future. But if anybody's been waiting for me to stop talking before they actually enjoy their whiskey, I'll give you an opportunity right now to raise your glass. So happy St. Patrick's Day, St. Louis.
Dustin, I'll enjoy it with you. I have a little Quiet Man right here, and I'm looking forward to it. Sláinte.
Sláinte. Let's see.
It's very smooth.
It is very smooth. It has a lot of nice chocolate notes. I really, really enjoy this. It's afternoon candy. I very much enjoy this glass. So
I like the way you put that.
Yeah, absolutely. And most people don't have the luxury of being able to drink Irish whiskey in the middle of the day, the other 364 days out of the year. So I hope you guys take advantage of this while you can, and just sit back, enjoy yourself. The weather could be a lot worse today, so just soak in. I actually see a little bit of sun poking out right now, and just soak up some sun and enjoy your whiskey.
I think today we get away with it. We'll do it again.
Hear, hear. So what's next in everybody's kit?
I'm sorry, Dustin, I didn't catch that.
So what's next in everybody's kit? What are our friends drinking at home?
Well, they're drinking at home. What do we have lined up here? I'll bet I can check right here as we look at the Quiet Man. So the Quiet Man's one of them. I know Murphy's Irish Stout is another. I don't know the particular order. Of course, there's the Whistler, double oaked Irish whiskey. Little St. Brendan's, something with which any Irishman or woman is familiar. And that's it, actually. And then we gave them in their kit some smoked almonds, just to enhance the flavor a little bit there.
I was like, this and some smoked almonds would be really nice. I do want to talk a little bit about the words you see on whiskey labels sometimes can be very confusing. I just said that all Irish whiskey must by law be aged for a minimum of 3 years in a oak barrel. All right, and so now we have a whiskey called that says it's double oaked. So what does that necessarily mean? What that would mean is that they not only aged it for 3 years in a oak barrel, but then after that, they actually transferred it into a second barrel, all right, that was, of course, made of oak. It's not very common that you find barrels in this industry that aren't made of oak, most of which being American oak. There's some French and Hungarian oak that can play a lot of great roles in whiskey aging. So they probably dumped it out of a ex-bourbon cask and then actually would pour that into, my guess would be a new American white oak barrel. And so that way you're getting two different kinds of wood influence on your whiskey. Whenever whiskey comes out of the still, it's as clear as water. They'll call that white dog because it's nice and white and it bites like a dog. But it's the time that it spends in those oak barrels that actually give it all of that beautiful color. This golden hue that you're seeing out of there, that is from the 3 years that it's spent in that oak barrel. And, in Ireland, it can get really hot and it gets really cold. So that whiskey, they'll fill up that whiskey barrel, and when it gets hot, that whiskey expands and forces itself into the wood. And then when it gets cold, it contracts back out. And every time that whiskey goes in and out of the wood, it's going to pull color, flavor, sugar, tannins, all these great things out of the wood. And that's that's called the maturation or the aging of the whiskey. And, any good distiller will say that the maturation process provides about 50% of the flavor that you find in that bottle. So whenever you double oak something, you're actually increasing that amount of oak influence that you put into the barrel. So, that's one of those really great industry buzzwords that people like to talk about, but not everybody really knows what double oaking means. But there are two different barrel influences in that whiskey. So I bet it has some really, really nice, unique characteristics.
Dustin, that's great. As we switch gears here, I'm curious about the oak barrels there, and it's been around. You said 3 years is mandatory for it to be considered Irish whiskey, correct?
Correct.
That's fantastic.
To make bourbon, you have to, by law, age your bourbon, American whiskey, for 2 years in new American white oak. If your whiskey is younger than 4 years, you actually have to put that age statement on the bottle. All right. So anything that is at least 4 years of age from a bourbon standpoint doesn't need to have an age statement. So whenever you see those 8s and 12s and all those things, that's bragging rights. They don't necessarily need to put that on there. They just think that might make you open your wallet a little faster. But in Ireland, everything's guaranteed a minimum of 3 years. You don't see very many age statements on Irish whiskey. They just really aren't that into extra aging the way we are here in the States. But I work for a company called Luxco, which actually currently owns and operates the Quiet Man distillery, the niche distillery where we produce our Quiet Man in Ireland. So since we have a big American whiskey persuasion, for lack of a better word, we actually do produce not only our Quiet Man 3-year, but we also make a Quiet Man 8-year. And our 8-year is actually 100% single malt. Just like your Scotch whiskeys, you can either be a blended Scotch or a single malt Scotch. So we actually produce a single malt Irish whiskey, which is something you don't see every day. But our master distiller is, he's always enjoyed whiskeys of the world. And so he didn't want his Irish whiskey to be the same old that everybody else was doing. So we actually use 80% malt in this one. It's very common for Irish whiskeys to have about 10 to 20% malt, all right? But we do 80% malt in our 3-year blend and 100% malt in our 8-year. We also, if you're ever in Ireland, you can actually find a bottle of 12-year-old Quiet Man as well, which does very, very well there because there isn't a lot of those older options available. So we actually are currently only selling that in an overseas market, but it's doing very well there. So we're excited about it.
So no chance I can get my hand on one of those 12-year bottles, huh?
Well,
only in Europe. That's okay. That's all right. It gives me an excuse to go overseas, I guess.
Exactly right. So that'd be tons of fun. But the other thing that we do with our Quiet Man whiskey is produce a Irish cream. And this is a whole lot of fun, and I really, really like this product. There's a few Irish creams on the market. Look at that color. But this one, what's unique about this one is we actually use 100% Quiet Man as our alcohol base for this Irish cream. There's a lot of Irish creams on the market that will use 1% Irish cream or Irish whiskey, and then they'll use what we call a neutral grain spirit, which is essentially a vodka, right? But they'll use that to fulfill the rest of their alcohol requirements. All you need legally is 1% to be able to say it's Irish cream. But we actually use 100% Quiet Man. We use our 3-year, not the 8-year, but we use our 3-year blend, and we mix that with, Ireland's got a lot of great things going for it, and they take their dairy industry very seriously. And so if you ever find yourself at the Quiet Man Distillery, it is actually surrounded by dairy farms. And so we actually source local dairy products, local cream for our St. Brennan's, and we use that 100% local Irish cream, 100% Quiet Man, and that's what makes St. Brendan's Irish cream. I find that this product goes very well in your morning cup of coffee, your morning bowl of cereal, your evenings in the hot tub, the shower. I think the only thing that I've discovered it doesn't go well with is driving. Other than that, it's a perfect match.
Dustin, I haven't tried it in the morning bowl of cereal. That might be something for this Wednesday, the 17th, on
Cinnamon
St.
Toast Crunch.
Patrick's Day.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch in St. Brendan's is the new breakfast of champions.
That sounds great. It sounds wonderful. We'll tell Wheaties that they've been replaced.
There you
go.
go.
Certainly, I enjoy it in hot chocolate. I know that's something that I like a little St. Brendan's from time to time in there.
Makes hot drinks, makes cold drinks. We're actually out today at Four Hands Distillery right now, serving some Irish coffees right outside, doing that. And we're also making a coffee old-fashioned with our Quiet Man as well. So we got some great bartenders outside slinging some great drinks, and I'm excited to be out I'm hiding in the secret offices at Four Hands Brewery, coming out and drinking with you guys. So
that's great. Coffee old-fashioned. I've never even heard of that, but that sounds very enticing. I might have to get down there and try it out.
It's pretty exciting. So, nothing better than being caffeinated and boozinated at the same time.
Well, on St. Patrick's Day, I think both of those are essential. So you have a pretty good product, it sounds like. So
we're having a blast, and, I'm sure everybody's having a blast at home. And, we all miss being out in the parade. But I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing to put all this together. And it's been fun. I've had the program on all day. You guys have done some really, really great stuff, and I can't wait to keep it going tonight. So,
Dustin, we appreciate having you, and frankly, Luxco and everything that you do has been essential to this year's parade. We certainly appreciate that and our relationship with you, as well as St. Brendan's Irish Cream and the Quiet Man, which has a lot of great properties that, as I said before, I'm enjoying it right here at home and having a little bit of the Quiet Man. I'm not known for being quiet, which I guess is why they're having me doing this, but nonetheless, it is a very good whiskey.
If you haven't already drank all your samples at home already, a really good way to enjoy them would be to take some of your Murphy's Irish Stout, put about 2 ounces of that in a glass, take a small portion of your Quiet Man and pour that in, take a small portion of your St. Brendan's and pour that in, and then cheers with whoever you're drinking with, and take the bottom of your glass and actually then put it up towards the ceiling. Catch whatever comes out, make sure you catch it in your mouth, and then enjoy that. And that would be a really nice homemade Irish car bomb brought from us to you.
Well, that sounds like a nice little combination, something that I can't do at the moment. But I do. All I have is my Quiet Man at the moment. The rest of it I left in the other room for later consumption. But as you can imagine, this has been a fun day. And as I said, you're obviously well attired. You've got your Irish cap, your bandana scarf around your neck there. And
got my shamrock.
It's the shamrock. I mean, you're obviously, as I said, you're well attired there. Looks like you might be a bit of a redhead there. So that's
oh, absolutely.
We appreciate that around these parts. You're one of us, certainly.
I'm drinking a Irish shandy at the moment with some 4 hands contact high with lemonade and a shot of the Quiet Man in here. So hoping that sun keeps shining, and we're enjoying the weather, the beautiful day, and all the Irish festivities. So.
And the Quiet Man, we can get that at any of our local liquor distributors around town?
Absolutely. It's everywhere good spirits are found. We're any of your independents, any of your major liquor stores. We're not in too many of your grocery stores right now, but we're working on that.
Well, I can attest from having it right here that it's worth a trip to the liquor store. If you haven't been, and frankly, we as the Irish don't usually need an excuse to make a trip to the liquor store. So I think we're all right making our trip, especially for something as delicious as this. So I think we'll be okay in that regard as we move things along. Glad to hear things are going well, though, down at Four Hands as you guys enjoy the festivities of the day. Obviously, things are a little different for us this year as we are at home, for the most part. All of us are at home. Maybe a few of us have quarantined and been lucky enough to spend time with friends. But we are here. And the neat thing is that, the 2 of us are right here. We're still enjoying each other's company and enjoying this. And so you can't let the pandemic ruin St. Patrick's Day, because the Irish are a resourceful bunch, and we keep going.
And it's a feeling you keep right here. We luckily some of us do get to be Irish 365 days out of the year. But for those of you who get to enjoy honorary Irish status on a wonderful day such as this, we're honored to have you. We're honored to share our culture, our drink, our friendship and family with you. This is always a great holiday. St. Louis has a great community. We've always supported this. And I know that a lot of this is going into great charities and helping those around us provide better lives for themselves and others. So thank you to all of you for the hard work it takes to put an event like this together. All of you sitting at home enjoying this and drinking with us, and everybody who works every single day to make St. Louis a better place. We appreciate everything you do.
Dustin, we appreciate everything you didn't mean to cut you off there, but cheers to you as well, my friend. Thank you very much. I drink to you.
My favorite sound.
I'll wait. Don't worry. As I said, I have the quiet. I'm not going to let you drink alone. The Irish don't do that.
Here. So,
Well,
but no,
certainly.
this has been an honor to be a part of this, and I look forward to doing this again with you guys next year, hopefully in a more public setting. Not every day I host a tasting in a strange boom closet, but whatever it takes.
All right. Dustin, thank you so much, and I'll take a shot to you.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Dustin Pears of Luxco. Dustin, thanks so much for being with us. We certainly hope you can join us again next year.
I will.
We look forward to that. As we move along here on our coverage of St. Patrick's Day, it's going to be a great afternoon and into the early part of the evening as we move things right along.